What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel as well as another video. So in this video it looks like we're going to be doing a starter replacement on the 04 Road King here. You probably noticed in the background, well, two things. One thing, you'll see our new shop dog Jim here. There's Jim. We've had him for a couple of months. He's a replacement. I don't want to say a replacement for Benny, but he's what we ended up with. He's a good boy, but he's a little rambunctious, but he's breaking in slowly. And also in the background, you will see this other motorcycle here that's under a cover. This is going to be saved for a video at a later date, but this is the newest thing that I just picked up to replace this. So, getting ready to start detailing this thing up, getting it ready to go so that I can sell it. And went to kick the power on to start it the other day and got that dreaded click. So we kicked the power on, we go to start it, and that's all we get. So I did a little bit of preemptive diagnostics. I went through and checked all the resistance on wiring. I did go through and pull the relays here. There's one for the starter, one for the brake. They're both the same exact relay, so I swapped them out just to see if for some reason it would crank after that, hopefully, and it did not. So that tells me I do believe that the starter is done for. This bike, you know, being that it's carbureted and it was having those issues, it used to kind of burp back every once in a while. You get that kind of kickback out of the engine, and I think that was probably the kiss of death for this thing. So I do have another starter for it. I did go aftermarket, which I'm trying not to do that as much as possible, but I did get this one off of Amazon, so we're going to go through and replace the starter. After going through and checking some of the literature and not realizing that because of the age of this bike, there's a lot more work to do this. This is the reason why I'm actually going to be filming this thing, because most of the stuff you see on YouTube, if you look up a starter replacement, I mean, God, all you got to do is take out a few bolts here and there and wiggle this starter loose and be able to pull it right out, and it's good to go. On this bike, unfortunately, on the other side, you have to take that primary cover off. So there is a bolt behind there that is holding everything together and keeping that starter from coming out. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing on a jack, get this primary off, the whole cover, the full cover, and remove that bolt, and then we should be able to get this thing out of here. The exhaust is going to have to come off. It's a rather large job, but hopefully that will fix this problem. I'll be able to puff this thing all up, make it look good, and pedal it on down the road to let another owner continue enjoying it. So, all right, let me get set up here, and we are going to get going and start tearing this thing apart. The bike on the jack, now we can get going on taking some of this stuff off. The right side floorboard will have to come off. The brake pedal, that's also going to have to come out. The passenger right side board will have to come off so that we can then get this exhaust out of the way. I'm really hoping I can snake the starter out through without having to do anything with the oil fill. That might be a pain in the butt, but I think with the exhaust out of the way, that should take care of it. So I'm just going to pull the whole exhaust off completely. It makes no sense to just leave that dangling. On this side, I'm going to have to remove, obviously, like I said, the exhaust. Left side passenger board is going to have to come off to get access to the primary cover, as well as the shifter and this floorboard as well. It's a lot of tear down just to do a starter. Kind of crazy. But anyway, that's what we got to do. So let me get going on that. All right, so the exhaust is off here off the back. I had to go through and remove a bracket that holds this to the starter. It actually holds the exhaust up. And man, I am batting 1,000 tonight. I went through and accidentally hit one of the lugs on the neutral indicator switch with the universal joint on my extension. Snapped the lug right off of it, so I'm gonna have to buy a new one of those, which is great. But anyway, I'm that much closer. Some of you might be looking at this and going, why are you yanking the whole entire exhaust off? You don't really need to change out the starter. Well, I had to pull all this other stuff off to get it out of the way, and I figured a few more bolts here and there, I can pull all this out, and then I can get in here and do a nice deep cleaning in all the areas that I cannot get with some chrome polish, make everything look 100% so this bike really looks nice when it goes up for sale. Might as well, I'm right here. Let's just put the extra effort in and get it done. So, well, now that I got these bolts out of the starter, I'm good to go here. I'm going to have to jump over to the other side and pull that primary cover off and get that bolt out. So let's get set up and get that done. All right, bolts back in. Got this jack shaft bolt back in here, so we should be good to go. We got it torqued to proper specification. Battery was a little dead, so it's sitting on the charger. Really quickly here, I'm going to actuate this starter. Normally I wouldn't do this, with the primary cover off, but I want to make sure that this thing's actually going to work, because if it doesn't, I just did a whole lot of work for nothing. So let's see what we got here. Well, battery's still dead, but I can see that it's actually turning it, so that's a plus. That's a lot different sound than what I was hearing before, so I think we're good to go here. I'm going to pop this primary cover back on and fill it with fluid, and then I can go back around and start putting in some of the rest of this stuff. All right, let's do it. Okay, with the primary filled, cover back on, battery charging, I'm all set to go ahead and start cleaning some of this stuff up. I'm going to go in here and clean in all these areas that I normally would not be able to get to with the exhaust in place. Once I do that, I'm going to start reassembling this thing, and we'll see what we got at the end here. So let me get that done, and I'll get back to you. And we are back together. Everything's put together on this thing. We are all set. I spent the last day and a half polishing, buffing, and just generally shining this thing up. I spared you that expense because, you know, not exactly great content. But we are back together. I just took this thing for a rip around the block. Starts and runs like it should. Do a quick little kick over here. Whirls it right over like it should, so that starter was definitely a needed item. So, all right, yeah, I want to get this thing listed. Hopefully it sells rather quickly. I'm pretty confident that it will, and then it can go on and be enjoyed by someone else, hopefully as much as I have. And yeah, on to the next project. And that's going to do it for today's video. Make sure you catch up with me next time when we check out what's behind door number 2 and get started on that. Should be a pretty good, interesting project, and I can't wait to get going on it. If you haven't already, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you know when more videos like this are coming out. And as always, keep the shiny side up, and I'll see you guys all on the next video.